Hello everyone and welcome to the 6th race in the Grand Prix Classics Championship. We are here on the, well, already did that today, well done. We are here on the Monza track in Italy, and we are of course following one of the most engaging seasons of any motorsport, I think, real or fake, in the world. Why? Well, I will show you in a bit. Before we do that, we do have some other obligations. Let's look at the calendar. As you can see, 6th race today. We currently switched. This is important for anybody that does not observe daylight saving time or isn't in Europe and daylight saving time triggers at some other point, or in Australia and goes the other way. We have now started daylight saving time in Europe, in Germany and the Netherlands specifically. So the time will be different if you do not observe daylight saving time at the same time in the same direction, and if you do, well, nothing changes, and yeah, should all be good. So 6th race out of 8, 2 more to go after this. Also, I should mention, of course, if you do have a different time zone, then follow me on Twitch so you will get notifications of when I'm online, so you don't have to remember anything. That's how you should do it. And that's how I'm gonna ask for people to follow. Give us 1 second as I inform my only audience, as in my family, who already may know because they do follow me and do get notifications. But it's always nice to have a couple of extra viewers. Yeah, that's the calendar. Now let's look at why this is such an interesting championship to be following. The driver standings, look at who is on top. Randus currently has not won a championship. He has not. He won a race last season, first race of the season. He has led a championship as a result, but he hasn't won one. Now we are, well, in the 6th race, about to start it, and he's in the lead. He is P1. He is doing so well this season. Marcus VR, also a bit of an unknown, but he is in P2. And they are ahead of Dikra and Domska, who have both won a Grand Prix Classics Championship. In fact, it was last season that Dikra was on top, and the season prior that Domska was the lead car. Better than anyone. And both of them had relatively dominant seasons. I will say for Domska, it got a little bit hairy at the end, but Dikra managed to close it out a couple of races before the end. So, very dominant season for him. Now, who else have we got? Of course, Gerald, Smith, Michael, and Dustin in their own fight. It really does have to be said, though. Gerald is doing a good job, as well as he can. I think it has to be said. Mike was doing a very good job to be fighting with Geralt and with Dustin to some points. Dustin has had a bit of a rotten season so far. I am confident he could have done more if it hadn't been for technical issues that have plagued him the entire season. He's like a little bit like Piastri, I guess, or like, well, I guess the first race was Piastri's own fault, but McLaren's this season have been great. In actual F1, some other technical difficulties there. That's the Dustin experience right now. Imagine that, but worse. Essentially kind of a Daniel Ricciardo season, in that one season where he kept having issues. That's kind of how I view it. So hopefully, better luck today. We'll see. After that, we do have Gomestos, who is new to the grid, but is doing a very solid job. Then we have Sorrow, Silver, Capello, and notably also Sorrow, I have to note. Man, what a season he is having. You can see the rest of the people. A couple of points here and there. Some people have not scored any points yet. And I do want to start. I've made a list. I'm going to start from the bottom, actually. We have a new driver today who has not joined any races so far this season. But he is here today. And his name is Juppo from Finland. We have a Finnish driver on the grid, as you can see here. So what should we expect from Juppo today? I don't know, let's hope he finishes the race. His times right now are actually quite good. Relatively competitive. Dare I say? Yeah, maybe it's gonna be good. We're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to find out. Very interested to see what he can do. Also, I'm very interested to see what Ditto can do. Ditto currently in the pits. But of everybody on the grid, he's currently, I think, the only person that has joined the race but not scored any points. And it's definitely a matter of time. Last race, he said he was quite close, but he made a couple of mistakes entering the pits. Not setting things up correctly. And as a result, didn't get the points he wanted. Today's another day. It is Monza. Monza is definitely one of those races where crazy things can happen and you can actually pick up some points. Yeah, maybe today. Let's hope and let's pray. If you are into that. Then we have Ride or Die, who has 3 points in the championship right now. 18th in the championship. I think there's more that he can do. Hasn't really been able to show it yet. But it also has to be said, like the top 4 is already taken by 4 people, right? It's very hard to get in between there. Michael managed it last time with a podium, but it's always unusual when one of those people isn't there, unless, like Decra last race, he didn't join. Otherwise, it is all a bit of luck. Who else have we got? Well, I go up my list. Nota Bene, who has got 10 points behind his name. It's currently P12. So he's on the first little list when we drop a list at the end of the race, start of the session. Doing an alright job. I'm sure he wants to do more today again. Same as with Ditto. He will have opportunities. Let's see if we can make the most of it. Returning driver wasn't there last time. The Ferrari of Capello. Because he is the teammate of Decra. Now, Decra has been doing an amazing job, of course, for the team. Capello, well, hasn't been there for a little while. Also has 12 points behind his name. Has 12 points behind his name, sorry. He's P11 in the championship. So, a little bit more to do for him. But, yeah, excited to see what he can do in his return. We now have Silver. Now, Silver is kind of interesting, because right now Silver is quite low on this list. He is also with 12 points, P10 in the championship. But I heard from other people that Silver actually seems to be pretty quick today. Let's see if that pans out, if that is the case. And if so, it could be an exciting day for him. We have Sorrow here. Very much an up and down season for this Polish gentleman. But the good news for him is that his last race was definitely an upper. Definitely had a very good race there. Decent result. I'm sure he will be satisfied that happened. But not satisfied with the season yet. He will want more. And as you can tell by the practice list, it is only practice, right? It's not everything. But I think on Monza it says a little bit more. Because race pace and qualifying pace, I mean, there is a difference, of course. But, you know, you kind of want to go fast. Especially at Monza, just get a good feel for it. And the difference isn't that stark. There he goes with a pit entry. Practice, always good to do. Good chance for Zorro to pull something off today. And I do hope that he manages that. I'm going to hope that for everyone. But, of course, not everybody can get points. Yeah. That is what it is. Gomestos, who has been... I said last race, I believe, I need to rectify something. I said last race he had a poor start. Looking at at where he ended up after the start, I think that you could say that's true. However, I looked at the replay. He was actually incredibly cautious. Incredibly cautious. And honestly, that was probably the right move, looking at what he was looking at. So, very smart driver, I think I would need to change that setting to. And I also want to thank someone in the chat, Mr. Smith, for subscribing. Of course, you can do that. Not mandatory, but I will be very thankful if you do. Good support of the stream. But yeah. That's Gomestos. Quite a clever driver. He's got good points this season. Currently P8. behind your Dustin, your Michael, and your Geralt. A very good position to be in. I do think he is lacking a little bit on pace. He's a very smart driver, he's quite consistent, but he doesn't quite churn out the pace that other people do. That is a weakness. He needs to work on that. It is a harder thing to do than becoming more consistent, but I do hope for the best for him. Dustin's currently in the pits, but he's going to be the next driver to talk about. And honestly, I've already talked about him. There's not much more to say. He's just had a super unlucky, hello, Yippo, fastest lap. That's interesting. Okay, got interrupted a little bit here, but that's very interesting. That looks very smooth around those curves. I'll talk about that chicane because it's different than what you're used to. Dustin has had a very unlucky season. That's honestly all there is to say. He's just hoping for it to be over soon, so we can move on to organizing the next season. I feel for him. Hopefully he has a good race today. Podium finisher last time. Where is he on the list? I saw him earlier. And, oh, I was going to say now I'm blind, but oh, no, let's not. He's that guy, that spinning guy. That's Michael. He's got a podium last time. He's 6th in the championship and doing an excellent job in these cars. Definitely, he felt a little lucky after last race to be there. But, yeah, I mean, any podium is an earned podium. He's doing a great job. And, yeah. I'm not saying he can repeat it today, because we'll get to the competition. But yeah, good encouragement for him. We got Gerald Smith also currently in the pits. He is teammate of Dustin. He's had a very quiet season. Nothing too crazy, but he's done a very solid job to be P5. Behind, of course, this very strong top 4. We have Domschka, Season 5 champion. Of course, we're on Season 7 right now. It was 2 seasons ago. Only 2 seasons ago. He was champion in very similar cars, but not the same cars. And it turns out that the difference between this car and that car is big enough. It's just not that dominant. Currently 4th in the standings. He's in touching distance of Randers. If he wins 2 races, he does get there with fastest lap. That's a little bit of a caveat. Yeah, 11-point gap is pretty heavy still. He's gonna need a little bit of luck. But Domska is a very capable driver. If he has found the pace today and he's able to do it again in the next few races, then yeah, absolutely still on for him. Then, of course, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the reigning champion, Dikra, who was so strong at the start of the season, won the first 2 races, got taken out in the 3rd, let me remind you, by Domska, which is, I think, something that they both agreed, you know what, we were both a bit too feisty, we don't want any penalties, so nobody got penalised for that. But yeah, after not showing up last race, though, he has dropped from 1st to 3rd. So he's got a clawed back. He's got a 9-point gap to the lead. Absolutely surmountable. Who is ahead of him? Well, in P2 we have Marcus. Marcus, start of the season, I was saying, winning for him is a matter of time. He did win in the 3rd race after Dikra and Domska took each other out from P1 and P2. Admittedly, he didn't feel happy about that win. Last race he won again, and that time it was completely on merit. So Marcus is here. Marcus is here to fight. The gap is only 5 points. That is a win. If he wins, then he is tied with Randers. If he also gets fastest lap, he is ahead by a point. And in fact, by countback, he will have the best countback of anyone, because he will be the only person to win 3 races if he wins today. So Marcus has an opportunity to win this season, and everybody knows he is capable. He is a major threat, and a person who I wouldn't say nobody thought was capable, but nobody was expecting is Randers. Randers currently leader in the championship, and I quickly want to look at the scoring table, because I forgot how it happened, but I had a suspicion. P3, P4, P2, P1, P2, he has just consistently been in that top 4, and as much as I say that the top 4 is kind of I wouldn't say guaranteed, but like the people are always there. He's actually the only person to finish in top 4 every time. Because Domska didn't manage it in Germany after crashing. Dika didn't show up last race. And Marcus's first race was a little bit one to forget in Brazil. So Randers has been the most consistent driver. And as a result, he is currently leader in the championship. A little bit of luck, of course, Dika not showing up, it does help. But yeah, pretty lead in championship. Randers, see what he can do today. Now for this race, of course, what you should expect, well, hopefully... Domska's testing out some shortcuts here. That is the Ascari Strait, as people know it. It's just being a little silly. He will not do that during the race, I'm sure. And if he does get he does risk being ousted by the streamer, that is me. Also note that on the start finish straight, the drivers are not allowed to cross the line on the right of the grid. They have to stay on the track the whole time. Ooh, and there's a bit of a mistake. I think that's true Parabolica from Michael, but he resets. Dika is gonna finish his lap to end this session. So what should we expect? Well, it is Monza. We're gonna get a Monza-like race, I think. And oh, Dika's really pushing there for qualifying, but doesn't keep it on the track. Loses control of the car, and it's in the wall. It's so easily done here. He does keep driving just to finish this lap. Yeah, we'll expect a lot of slipstreaming, and as a result, also there's gonna be multiple strategies. We are talking a 1 and a 2 stop, or a 2 stop. Pick your favorite and try and make it work. 3 stop is narrowly impossible, it seems. On of me seems to have a wheel issue. Ooh, I hope he's able to fix that soon. Otherwise, well, I don't know if he's gonna be able to join the race. Hopefully, no problems. Yeah, as everybody drives out, the first person out is Marcus. I'm gonna sit on board with him and talk you through a lap of Monza. Once he starts his flying lap, you'll already see there is some differences. We are driving on an old version of Monza, which has that old chicane, which I'm sure people have opinions about. I'm personally not that big of a fan. But at least we won't have the classic open lobby Monza kind of chicane experience. If you know what I mean. If you know, you know. Second chicane is also slightly different in profile. So a lot of things that actually I think most corners are. Ah, okay. It's Ditto with a wheel issue, not with me. One of me's name was put there. I think by mistake because of people leaving and rejoining the server, and then puts people in the wrong place. For whatever reasons, it uses numerical IDs naively and not GUIDs. Like these people literally have Steam accounts. There's a GUID associated. Okay, Parabolica. This is where the lap really starts. You go onto the start-finish straight. And it is a long start-finish straight. This is where we will see slipstream in full effect. These cars do benefit a lot from it. Brake for the chicane. It is a fast chicane. You want to hit that curb and then get a good exit through here. Try to go flat, as flat as you can through Curva Grande. Long right-hand sweeper. Not as much runoff as nowadays, but then this chicane, second chicane, hard on the brakes. And it's a lot quicker than it is now. And so are the Lesmos. Number 1, I think that's roughly the same, but the second Lesmos is quite a bit faster. Almost flat out. Might even be flat out. Now onto this straight. Nowadays that's a DRS straight, but of course no DRS in these cars. And brake for the Ascari chicane. Roughly the same as it is now. The curves aren't as killing though. You use a bit more of it, but I'm not sure if these cars can handle any of that. Marcus sets up for Parabolica. Wide entry. Oh, and he makes a mistake. He manages to catch it. That's not going to be a fast time for him. On the right is the pit entry, but you have to stay mostly on the left of this line here, as he does. You do have to keep your wheels on it, and he does. That is Marcus with kind of a shocking lap, but Domska does make it a decent one. What is our championship leader going to do? He's currently going through the Lesmos. I think that's number 1, and this is number 2. On his way to the Ascari chicane. Looks a little bit less confident than Marcus looked through here. Of course, as long as he doesn't do what Marcus did in Parabolica, he should still be ahead. Provided that Randers otherwise had a strong lap. Westmost controlled. You see he doesn't miss the apex. Over that line, like a robot following a path. Randers goes second. Very close to Domska, and we already saw that gap actually. We kind of saw where it came from. And then the last man in the top 4 hasn't set a time yet. Dikra returning after not being able to participate last time. He was very upset about not being able to participate before that race, the race prior. And that was, I think, just an outlap for him. Let's see what he manages to do then. He's quite upset about it because he felt like, you know, he's done a good job at the start of the championship, absolutely. He feels he should be up there fighting. Or like, should just be up ahead. He should be able to defend that the gap, but unfortunately wasn't able to join. Today he is here. Today he is able to fight back. He lost quite a few points, but as I said at the start, the entire top 4 is still up to win the championship. If he has a good race today, that the gap that people have created can vanish very quickly. Especially if Randers doesn't manage to finish second behind Dikra, and that gap can entirely disappear all in one go. Now, as it is Monza, of course, long straights, very few turns, especially with this version. Even the Lesmos 2 is less tight. The first chicane is faster, the second chicane is faster. Downforce, and there you go, Dikra on P3. But that gap is pretty big to Domska. And Sora is actually quite close behind. Interesting. So people will be running low wings. I don't know if anybody's going to try any higher than what the lowest value will be. Might all be the same, essentially. There's also going to be a lot of slipstream, and we might already start seeing it in qualifying. I haven't spotted it yet. Soro parks the car and is going to return to the pits. It is currently in P5 and Michael in P6. We do still need Marcus to set a strong lap. Of course, we saw him make a mistake earlier. Hopefully he is in control of the car this time a lot better through Parabolica. Scurry chicane. Good hit of the first apex there and there as well. Very controlled. It might still be an outlap because of just how controlled it was. Or it might also just be a second banker because he didn't really get his first banker. He does have time to do another lap after this. Plenty of time for these drivers. They don't have to drive back to the pits. Which is something that we intentionally left happen. It's very difficult to check. Marcus crossline, I think it was slightly faster, but not as fast as he would want it to be. He has slightly improved at some point, but a lot more to see for him. Yupo was very fast in practice, but currently P9. I wouldn't say only P9. P9 in this league is very strong. You're ahead of Catalor. You're ahead of Gomestos. You're ahead of Silva, who I don't think has really set a competitive time. But so far, so good for Yupo. It might actually be about to improve. Let's see what he does. It was a small improvement, but not in position. Marcus has to dig himself out of the upper midfield that consists of Sorrow, Geralt, Dustin, and Michael. He wants to be ahead of that. You also see Sorrow is bleeding into the top four. Marcus seems more controlled through here. Keeps the grip. That was where he made that mistake last time. And across the line, where does he end up? It's currently P8. After the line, it is P3 only. Ahead of Dikra, that's good. Randers and Domska are still ahead, and they're very close to each other. Randers is pushing. Domska is enjoying a little bit of slipstream, but I'm not sure exactly enjoying it. He's actually getting out of the way. He's setting up for a lap. Randers is running one, though. Now, of course, we do have to think of the scenario, what if Randers going to be ahead in the championship? What if he just wins this race? What if the top four just finishes the way they are now in the championship? Well, at that point, Randers can force a win by finishing second every race, which is easier said than done. But he can. Randers will have a bit of a luxury position in that sense. Oh, he does make a mistake, though. Oh, and then this qualifying, how close it is, could be costly. Currently in P2, Marcus and Dikra absolutely will be able to improve. I very much believe that. They have at least 2 more attempts in them, I think. 2 more attempts that they can start. Let's see what Dikra does. I don't think... Yeah, he's currently not on a lap. He's definitely setting up for one. No, he's not. He is not. He's actually decided to reset. And Marcus has just started a lap. As much as I am looking at the top 4, of course, I do want to note the rest of the field a little bit here. You do see Sorrow, Geralt, Dustin, and Michael, the upper midfield, as I have started calling them right now, all behind each other. Benetton team in Geralt and Dustin in order where you would expect them. Domska improves a little bit. Now the gap is 0.03 of a second. Potentially that's a massive improvement in, but like, it's a time. That's in terms of time, not so much. I'm not gonna say he's vulnerable, of course. Domska has had a very strong time, and Randers has had a close enough time. I think he can improve, but it's easier said than done even on Monza. Really finding the limit on Monza is not easy. You see how easily mistakes can be made. Marcus does now improve, but look at he is under 120, 119.999. Only just ahead of Randers, only just behind Domska. That's how close it is. Now, Dikra, I think he's setting up for a lap right now. Technically a cut there, but that literally doesn't matter. If anything, maybe it cost him a little bit. Here we go, through the first set of chicanes. Will be another attempt for him to get back to pole position. Domska going back into the pits. Didn't get the preparation he wanted. We'll have another opportunity for sure. 2 minutes and 40-ish seconds to go. Any big standout performance here? Well, I think Juppo for his first race doing a great job in P9. Silva in P10. I was promised he would be very fast, but Oh, and speaking of very fast, there he goes. Randers on top. Almost a tenth to Domska, over a tenth to Marcus. And Dikra now over half a second behind the leader in this session. Dikra is finishing up his lap here. Getting on the power to exit Parabolica. Let's see, what is it gonna be? Currently 4th place, half a second behind. He doesn't improve. That was not a setup lap. Dikra is struggling to find the time here in qualifying. But it's not over for him yet. I do want to very much stress that. A lot of people are setting up here. You see, I think that is Dustin and Sorrow. I know what Sorrow is doing. He is trying to go for a slipstream. Let's quickly see what these two are gonna do. Randa's actually, he's in the pits. I don't think Randa's gonna be able to improve. No, he's not going to be able to improve. Randa's is gonna have that time, and that's just gonna have to hold for him. It is a very, very strong time, mind you. But yeah, no defending. Very interesting. Sorrow trying to really get all of that slipstream. I am very, honestly a bit puzzled. I don't think this works. Not like this. You're too close. You need to be a little behind and try to catch through the corners. And then benefits from the slipstream right before Parabolica. Or hope it doesn't make a mistake. And then you do actually get to make Parabolica cleanly. Parabolica is going to be very difficult for him, and so is the Ascari chicane. But he does have the slipstream. He is getting closer. This is a very sneaky defense. Very sneaky defense. And Yuppo actually mixed himself in with the Benetton team. Ahead of Dustin now. Still behind Geralt. Oh, and Sorrow, you can't really do that overtake. You can't really do that overtake. Yeah, he stays behind. Very nice, very nice. Okay. That's kind of the problem that you put yourself in. If you are faster, much faster, you don't actually get to... You don't get to get the full benefit. You have to stay behind. Otherwise, you're ruining someone's quali lap. But there you go. Sorrow actually ahead of Dikra. And now Dikra is in real trouble. I expect he just started a lap. So it's going to be one attempt for Dikra to try and put himself up somewhere. But that is not a happy chicane. That is not a happy run through there. Where is Marcus? Marcus is still driving, and so is Domska. We know that Randus is not. We know that Sorrow is not. Oh, and Dikra made a mistake. Dikra made a massive mistake. Into the wall he goes. And Sorrow is going to be P4. Marcus is not improving. Domska has one opportunity to try and take the pole position away from Randus. And I do have to say, Domska, his point total currently only 4th best. But his qualifying record so far this season has been astonishing. Absolutely qualifying specialist in Monza. Is he gonna do it again through the Parabolica curve as he exits here, putting down the power? There's nothing to assist him. What's it gonna be? We don't know. Randus is simply too fast, ahead of Marcus and then Sorrow. Dikra only P5. Then we have Geralt Schmidt. Yuppo on his first outing did a very nice job. Then we have Dustin and Michael. Silver and Cafalor. Ride or Die. A very good job from him. Putting himself into the points, I believe, before the race has started. Very good. Then we have Gomestos, Jetlin, Notabene Onufmi, Ditto, unfortunately last on the grid. Okay. I'm really quickly gonna run a short ad and we'll be back. For those that have subscribed, which is 2 people, one of them is driving. I'm gonna quickly raise my desk because I like to stand for the race. I'm gonna mute for that. Put in a bit of a graphics test there, but it does work. Very nice to see. Let's quickly see. Is there any weird things? Well, from Sorrow, you can see he actually lost a lot at the end there. Having to stay behind cost him 4/10. That could have been pole position for Sorrow. That could have absolutely been pole position for Sorrow. Look at that. He lost so much at the end there. If he had kept a bigger gap to Dustin, he could have had pole position. Absolutely. That is crazy. Randa's pole position, he's got a bit of a lead in the championship. Not massive, but he does have a bit of a lead. Okay, very quickly we are going through that starting grid. Who do we have? Well, we have Randa's pole position, leader of the championship. Very, very strong continuation of his championship hopes today. It is Monza, so pole, doesn't mean as much as in other tracks, but yeah, there we go. Randa's P1. Domschka, P2, close but no cigar. Then we have Marcus, and then the first surprise, Sorrow, P4, very nicely done. Then we have Dekra in P5, disappointing for him, I'm sure. Then we have Gerald, Jippo, first outing as a reserve driver, doing a very solid job there, P7. Then we have Dustin in P8, Michael in P9, close together those two, watch that. Then we have Silver, Cavalo, and Ride or Die, who also did a very strong job there, being in the top 12. We have Gomestos, Jetlin, Nota Bene, Honor of Me, and Ditto in P17. And that is how we stand. We have 30 laps, which is less than the 33 planned. Specifically, to make more strategies possible, we are looking at a possible 1 or 2 stop for all the drivers. Which one they're going to go for? I think a lot of people maybe going to try the 1 stop, but it does depend on how much slipstream are they in. Yeah, I think we'll see a couple of different things. So, should be exciting. And also means that I will not have any clue of what's going on while the race is going on. As we hit the lights, they go out, and there our drivers go. It's a good start from Randers, who actually pulls away immediately from Domschka, from Marcus. Sorrow remains in P4. Oh, it is a crash. Is that? No, it is not. Somebody was Jippo. Somebody had a crash. Somebody had a big crash. I think it was one of the Red Bull drivers. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Sorrow. Oh, it's Michael. Michael, of course. The other Red Bull driver. Sorrow now ahead of Marcus. Marcus takes the position back through the second chicane. And they do keep fighting. And that's going to be a sight for sore eyes there. Or, well, not really. Sorry, that's the wrong expression. It's going to be a painful one for Marcus to deal with. Because the more they fight, the more Domschka and Randers get away. And these two have pulled away together. Randers a very good initial start. But Domschka immediately able to pull away from the rest as well. Now, holding on to Randers with a little bit of distance, but kind of holding on. Dekras moved himself up to P4 now. Sorrow very close behind, though. He's going to have that double slipstream, essentially. I'm going to try to re-overtake. Perhaps. He actually does not. A bit of lifting and coasting there. He doesn't need to do that necessarily for any management. But he does that mostly to guarantee not having an incident. Then we have the Benetton team behind those two, all keeping their position. And we have, of course, our new driver, Jippo, ahead of Cavalo. A little bit of a gap to Silver, who's in P10. Cavalo had a very good start. Started P11, moved up. Michael definitely did not. Somebody has already retired. It's not Michael. I think it is... I have no idea. Wait, hang on. Hold on to your horses. Might be Ride or Die. I don't see Ride or Die. Ride or Die has unfortunately retired. Michael is still driving, but he's in the pits, so not making much progress right now. Currently, the lead looks like a 2-horse race, but I do want to stress that can change. Very much so. Currently leading a little bit of a train. More like people are going to stick together because of Slipstream, and if they decide to fight or be passive, that can change things quite a bit. No overtakes yet, but trust me, there's a lot of strategy going on already. A lot of strategizing. And this early stage is all about getting a clean bit of air, if you can. Otherwise, trying to Slipstream. Just follow the car ahead. And try to pull closer to the drivers further ahead. Domska is not necessarily losing touch to Randers, but it does have to be noted that Marcus is getting close to Domska, pulling everybody together again. Randers does have, honestly, one of the stronger advantages right now, especially in the top 5. But that is not that strong of an advantage. It's still under a second, let me remind you. Everybody else is just really, really compact, really close together. From Randers to Domska is a second, but from Domska to Sorrow is less than a second. To illustrate. Oh, and that's a mistake by Domska. Ooh, big mistake from me there. Oh, and actually a mistake from Randers as well. What happened to Randers? Oh, Randers made a big error there. Oh, he's losing so much time. Hand over fist. I briefly missed it, but I think they were fighting. Ooh, as Domska tries to fight back against Sorrow. And Marcus is your new race leader. In lap 3, starting lap 4, Marcus is ahead, and the former championship leader, and so eager to get back up there, it's Dikra, currently in P2, and extremely close to Marcus. Randers currently all the way down in P9, but that's only 3 seconds away from the lead racers. Curious to see what he's going to do. If he wants to make progress, maybe he needs to take an early pit stop and try to solve it in a 3-stop. But I don't... Oh, sorry, 2-stop, not 3-stop. That would be crazy. Because I feel like the top drivers aren't going to do anything too crazy. That is a big loss for Randers, though. For the championship, it can be very exciting. As Dikra does try to make a move on the inside here. Marcus around the outside. Lets Dikra very much live. Ooh, and Dikra does make a mistake there on the grass, and that's actually going to cost him all the way through here. Marcus has a much better exit. Look at that. Following him is Domska, and following Domska is Sorrow. Let's quickly have a look at what Sorrow is seeing. He's seeing 3 cars ahead. Marcus trying to retake that lead around the outside of Parabolica. Look at how slow these guys are going. Sorrow is right there. Domska's on the inside of Marcus now. Moving ahead. P2 for Domska right now. He's got the slipstream of Dikra. Sorrow is making it 4 cars into true 3. There's 3 side by side. I can't. What is going on? Sorrow overtakes Marcus. Marcus decided this is not going to work. And Domska's in the lead. Somehow, Dikra tried for an attack. And in the end, Domska overtakes Dikra and Marcus. Dikra was in the lead, excuse me. But yeah, Domska, very nice move there. Dikra on the inside of that chicane is not going to work. Oh, but he does force Domska into a mistake. Domska has to block, kind of. And somebody does go off track. I think it is Cafalo. Cafalo makes it back. Aranda's already within 1.5 seconds of the lead. And funnily enough, Geralt is also in this fight now because of everything that happened. And I think somebody made a big mistake and dropped quite a bit. Cafalo currently P9. Quickly have a look at what these guys are doing, because I can't follow. Domska makes a bit of a mistake. Marcus goes past, as well as Sorrow, who's currently in P2. Very good race from him today. And as much as we're focusing on the top 4 drivers, it's not just those 4 drivers on track, is it? It is currently 6 people that are fighting for a lead. And the championship leader is currently in 6th. It's a bit of a twist that some may not have expected. And look at that slipstream effect on Marcus's car, getting pulled straight to Dikra's car. But he really doesn't want to fight here. He really doesn't want to slow each other down even more. He would really like... Maybe he can't lose Domska, but he would like to lose Geralt. And as a consequence, maybe Randers as well, because he is close behind Geralt. Randers will want to make an overtake. But I don't think losing is an option anymore. Everybody's glued together. Really showing that you don't need DRS for a long train. 6 drivers here, all fighting for a win, and this might continue like this until the end. We do have a couple of stops in between, and there might be different strategies at play here. But it is not obvious to the drivers which one is necessarily better. To some might have really tested and have a very good idea. But to most people, it is simply not clear. Marcus looking for a move on the inside. Or a move on the inside. Of course, Sorrow was second. Is still second. He's defending it. Look at how much time they are losing to Dikra. Marcus now looking on the left side here, turning on the inside for the first part chicane. But it's a bit of a weird chicane, so I don't know if he's going to stick here. No, he does not. That's very wise. That is very, very wise from Marcus there. Also, Domska leaving him space. Very much respectful driving from these people. Deciding, you know what, the race is a lot longer than just the first part. And as much as we're focusing on 6th driver, I kind of want to know what's going on here. As I think that is Juppo pulling into the pits. Okay, very early stop from Juppo there. Likely going for a 2-stop. Very early one now. Dikra still leading this race, followed by Sorrow, Marcus, Domska, Geralt, and Randers, all so close to each other. That's the order they have been in for a little while now. That or something approximating that, to be honest. You see some fans of Sorrow in the chat, I think. Not necessarily of Sorrow, I think, but very happy to see Sorrow in that mix. Not one of those drivers that's like, oh, I don't belong here, I shouldn't be fighting. No, he is there and he's going to fight. I respect that very much. Currently in P2, very deserved, all on pace, and actually he's looking, I'm sure he's looking to lead a race this season. Let's see if he can manage it. Unfortunately, Dikra, I think I know what Dikra has done in his setup. I think he has his wings a little lower than everyone else. As a result, is able to defend this. Done something to reduce the drag at least. Sorrow was setting up for what could have been a move, but a little too close too early. And now he's actually falling into the clutches of Marcus a little bit. Sure, Marcus is not going to make this too painful. In fact, he doesn't really fight at all. As I do see Geralt was shaping up for a move there. That was not going to happen. Randers sees it as a mistake, and he is right. Because on the inside of -1 he goes, and Randers moves up to P5. And now looking forwards to defend his lead in the championship. I also want to note, Sorrow will be super, super happy with P2. I think he is through the moon already that he is here. He is fighting. I already think, even if he crashes out now, he'll be like, you know what, I had a really good fight, I had a really good start. I'm disappointed the result wasn't what it was, but very encouraging race at the start. It was a lot of fun, right? No one else is really happy with Sorrow in P2. It's Mr. Dikra, who currently, let me remind you, is P3 in the championship. Lost so many points because he wasn't there last race. And Sorrow is actually going to give it all back, provided Marcus doesn't pass, because I think Marcus has now passed. Yeah, Sorrow lets him go there. The fact that Sorrow isn't in the mix at all, I think, is actually a sight for sore eyes for Dikra. Really making up for what he has lost. Sorrow very close to Marcus again. They keep fighting. I wonder if Sorrow is going to make it too difficult for Marcus, because doing it as Skari, I think we've already seen it go wrong. And do you see Geralt dropping off a little bit? Geralt might be on a 1-stop. It might very well be possible. The top 5 in its entirety is on a 2-stop, and that Geralt is on a 1-stop. That is possible, and if that's the case, Geralt has a very good shot of winning this race. Absolutely. Keep an eye out for that. That would be interesting. But Geralt is still keeping up, right? That slipstream, that 5-fold slipstream he is receiving, is absolutely doing a massive job for him. It also means that, you know what? The worst is going to be P6. It's not bad. They're doing a great job though. P3 already on the podium. 10 laps in. We're going to see the first stops soon. Before we see them, I quickly want to go down. We have Dustin in P7. Very lonely race. Silver is 3 seconds behind. Very lonely race. Jetlin is 20 seconds behind. He might have already stopped. I've got Mestos, Cavalo, Nota Bene. Juppo in P13. A very good start, but unfortunately I think something happened now in P13. Ditto in P14. Would have also hoped for more. Michael after the crash, P15, and Onofmi last currently. That's how things stand right now. We are expecting, or we're seeing, moves that were considered and rejected. From Randa's POV, how I think Domska tried to move on Sorrow, decided against it, and now does it again. But this time, it's going to be definitive. Domska moves up to the podium. Sorrow in P4. Like, talking about podium 10 laps into a Monza race is a little crazy. Is anybody going to pit? Nobody's going to pit. That is interesting, because if it is a 2-stop, you would expect people to pit. But you also not expect it. I think what's going to happen is they are going to blindly follow Dikra into the pits. Because gambling on an undercut is a bad idea. We already know that the overcut is superior in these cars. The fuel weight matters so much more. Well, that's a mistake from Domska actually. Sorrow straight back through. P3 for him. Fully in this fight. And Marcus and Dikra, because there's a couple too many mistakes, all one after another, and now these two are fighting solo together for the win. Around the outside, Marcus goes, and Dikra lets him go. Marcus is your new race leader on lap 11, and now it is on Marcus. Marcus, they're going to blindly follow. If he goes in the pits, everybody's going into the pits. Mark my words, that is just going to be the logic. If the leader goes in the pits, all of them go into the pits. That is end of logic. End of logic. Oh, no. Well, kind of. Max goes in the pits, and so does Sorrow. Sorrow follows. Dikra, Domska, Randis, Geralt. All of these will get the benefit of the overcut. They will. They do. Are they on a one-stop? If they are on a one-stop, that's going to be interesting. They will need to hold on to the slipstream, very much so, if that's the case. Marcus and Sorrow come out together. They do have each other. Sorrow is a little bit behind, but they... that's a bit more than a little bit. But they do have each other, a little bit. The top four... well, they're going to keep fighting. If they fight enough, that's massive benefit for Marcus. If they do not fight enough, that's going to be a bit painful. Dikra still has a very strong pace, of course. He is much lighter. Trying for an overcut. I don't think that overcut's going to last too long if they are also on a 2-stop. But they are almost able to extend into a 1-stop. And that might be interesting, especially if this is how the race is going to be. In that sense, it might have been a mistake for Marcus to pit. But it's probably not a mistake. It's Randers here, making a move for second place. P2 for Randers. After what was a big mistake, him and Domska coming together seemingly, as he also goes into the pits, and so does Geralt behind. So now, we've essentially split these people into 3 groups. We've got Geralt and Randers. Let's see where they come out, actually. Of course, Dustin's going to be ahead. Where's Marcus going to be? Randers and Geralt still stand still. We do see movement from Randers. Marcus, you see in the background there. Marcus is going to be much faster. And there's Marcus ahead of Randers, and that is a gap. There is now a gap. Marcus has made the undercut work, which is interesting. Although I do say that. Randers, of course, was already behind Marcus. I would say the gap was a little smaller. Something like that. But if you look at the timing, I think the gap to Dikra has increased since Marcus came out. Oh, it is. Oh, there's a collision. But I think that's a back marker. Domska is gonna complain very hard, and I think this race we're not gonna get no penalties, because that looks a bit egregious. I think that is... it's going to be Ditto, I think, who's unfortunately going to be punished for that. Might not have been fully aware of what was going on. It looks like Domska may have sustained some damage from that. He has lost touch to Dikra, who is going to the pit, and I think Domska is not going. Okay. Maybe he doesn't have any damage. Maybe he's okay. Maybe he is going to commit to a one-stop. That's going to be interesting. Equally as interesting, Dustin... I say equally as interesting. It is a little bit, like... you could say meaningless, but he has now taken the lead of the race. Effectively, if you ignore Domska. These two might be on a one-stop. Marcus now has the real effective lead of the race. He's going P3 ahead of Dikra, ahead of Randers, and those gaps have grown substantially. Gerald Smith is also behind. That gap has also grown substantially. And Sorrow, oh my god, Sorrow, P7. Behind Gerald even, so he's going to have to fight back. I think he's going to be very happy with the first stint and going to hate the fact that the pit stops ended up the way they did. But they do not have the slipstream of each other. That might be useful. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it work. Don't currently in the lead. It's going to end up around Geralt and Sorrow, I think, when he stops. Maybe behind even. The undercut seems very strong here. But it also has to be said that Domska is probably on a one-stop. If you're still out, you're probably on a one-stop. And he's also going to want to extend past this lap. And probably going to stop next lap. It's going to be clean, a one-stop for Domska. I think the same can be said for Dustin. That makes things interesting. Because that enables Dustin to insert himself back into the fight for the lead even, for the race win. A strategical wrinkle that could very well turn out in Dustin's favor. Keep in mind he's only 9 seconds behind Domska. Yeah, only 9 seconds. He's not going to win the race, I think, because Domska is on the same strategy and 10 seconds ahead. But he might be able to fight with Marcus Randers, Decrypt Geralt. And that actually might hand Domska the win, who's currently P4 in the standings, let me remind you. Because what might end up happening is after Dustin stops, if he has good pace, he's going to end up ahead of Marcus Randers, Dikra, Geralt, Sorrow. After they stop. And then all of those drivers that I just named, I'm not going to name again, all of them have to pass Dustin on track. Dustin is going to have slipstream after they pass him. Dustin has put himself back into this race in a weird way. Provided he stops, well, soon, now. Domska doesn't stop yet. Yeah, he stops now. And now he needs to drive the stint of his life. Then he will have reinserted himself back into the race. But it's going to be tough because Marcus is quick. I don't want to look at the timings. I feel like Marcus is absolutely driving the wheels of these cars. This car. Yes, best lap is great. Is last lap, 121.3. Much faster than anyone else. Marcus is so quick right now. But he's still too far from Domska. Domska is going to be able to stop later. He might even be able to put on softs. His car is not going to be that heavy. It's going to be heavy, but not that heavy. I assume Marcus still has to stop again. And that's going to be very interesting for the end. Current race leader, though, he does need to be named Domska. I nearly said Marcus. Imagine saying somebody needs to be named and saying the wrong name. And Domska currently in the lead. Probably going to stop. We do see Dikra very close to Randers. Dikra, I think, stopped a little bit too late. Not expecting the undercut to work so well. Oh, Domska keeps going. That is interesting. It is a one-stop for Domska. Well, it was a one-stop already. Excuse me. The one-stop. But he's probably going to the softs. He's essentially... I think he's caught everybody napping into the strategy. Marcus is much faster, though. It does need to be said. He is now under 10 seconds. Look at the last laps. He is 1.5 seconds faster than Domska every lap. If you're not too familiar with racing, being 1.5 seconds than your competitor is crazy, especially if your car is heavier, which it is. Marcus' car is heavier. Refueling is enabled. Presumably, unless Domska's car was incredibly heavy at the start. Tire difference does seem to matter, even though it is Monza, even though the corners aren't really that defining. Marcus hauling this car, I think is going to be a fairly competitive two-stop, especially after he stops again. He will have softs and will be absolutely driving everything off of those tires. If he wins this race, he will probably have fastest lap as well. That will be very strong for his championship. But it's very hard to predict what's going on. Domska is now in the pits, and I think that's going to be his only stop. Lap 17. Look at where he has to stop, by the way, all the way at the end. Can already turn off the pit limiter, maybe. Marcus takes the lead of the race. Randers is ahead, of course. Decra is ahead, of course. Gerald and Sorrow, I think, are also going to end up ahead. Yet there they go. Silver, of course, is behind. Now, Domska doesn't have to stop anymore. So Dustin is behind Silver. That might be a bit painful. Domska doesn't have to stop anymore. He's currently 14 seconds behind the leader, Marcus. If Domska is faster than Marcus on pace right now, he will have every chance to win this race. Absolutely. But I'm not sure he will be. Because Marcus just seems really quick. Say 1.5 seconds and you can put that down to tires. But as I said, this car's supposed to be heavier. The pace difference is crazy. Domska will have a chance to defend, I think. Because I do think Marcus has to stop again. What's going to end up happening is that Marcus has to drive like an absolute bullet. He will be able to. He has already shown that he's incredibly fast. And there he goes into the... No, he doesn't. Okay, sorry. I thought the pit entry was already there, but it's not. It's not. Marcus keeps going. Not going into the pits yet. I think it might be his teammate letting him by there. Very nicely done. Randers defending against Decra. Second and third in this race. Randers finishing ahead of Decra is still a big deal. If Randers finishes behind Decra, we have essentially a three-way championship that can go any direction. They'll be so close together in points. Especially if, of course, Decra finishes first, Marcus second, Randers third. Because then they all get put together again. But there is a wrinkle, right? I said Domska has probably stopped for the last time. I don't think any of the top 5 has stopped for the last time. As I do say, I think that's... Yeah, I don't know if we taking a bit of a shortcut. Let's see what Marcus is going to do. Is he ready to stop again? Is he going to wait a little bit? And just drive a very light car? I think that's what's going to happen. It might take another 3 laps before he goes in, if that is indeed the plan. Alternatively, he already made his last stop, in which case this is an incredible win and he's done such a good job. Randers and Decra still fighting. Randers still has the better of him. This will feel a little bit personal, I think, for Decra, because, you know, Randers took his championship lead away. Decra will want to finish ahead of Randers more than anyone else. Finishing behind Marcus isn't great, isn't ideal. But it's, you know, we can solve that in the next few races. Finishing ahead of Randers is very important, because that gap is very big. Not being able to regain points today might end his championship hopes. That's kind of what's on the mind of Decra now. Marcus is is just pushing. I think all he's thinking about is the track directly ahead of him. And how to take it as fast as possible. I don't know how he is on fuel. If we look at the timings, I don't think that's the timings of someone who is quite heavy right now. Domska doing 122.7. This man doing a 121.0. The tire difference is really not... It's really not that big. As Dekra does, I think, make us overtake here. Yeah, there we go. Dekra is currently in P2. Let me remove the timings. There we go. And that's pretty big for the championship. And if Dekra can get closer to Marcus, we might have a very interesting situation on our hands. Silver is in the pits. Running in P8 though. Very good job. Nico in P10. I think we hope more from, but I had a bit of bad luck. You do see those drivers just standing there. As Randers re-overtakes. Dekra back to P3. Randers defending his championship lead from Dekra. It's not going to be able to defend it from Marcus. Marcus is absurdly quick. Absurdly quick today. Domska is losing time. Domska is not going to win this race. I hate to break it to everyone. And Marcus is now in the pits, and so is Randers. There we go. There we have it. And I don't know where Domska is, but let's have a look. Domska coming out of Parabolica. You see a lot of people are making the last stop. Sora also making his last stop there. And Domska comes out behind Marcus, but ahead of Randers. Now that's interesting. That is very interesting. Sora, of course. Well, Sora actually comes out behind Dustin. It's going to be interesting. These two didn't have that happy of a event last time around. Geralt hasn't stopped yet. If he has the fuel, maybe he just goes until the end. Dekra hasn't stopped yet either. For the second time. A very solid job though. Geralt in P2 would be happy to have driven here. I don't know how permanent, reflective, whatever it is. Now it's Marcus from Domska from Randers. And you would have to assume that Dekra is going to pit immediately, but no. He does not. What about Geralt then? Geralt does go into the pits. There he goes. For his last stop. And Dekra, what is he going to do? Is he trying to really make the overcut work? Now Marcus is second place. Dekra from Marcus. From Domska to Randers. Top four are exactly where they belong again. As much as everything changes, nothing changes, unfortunately. I don't know what happened to Sora. Hopefully we'll ask him. We'll get to ask him during the interviews. I feel like Marcus just kind of lost touch, lost pace as a result. He's now down to P5. Is going to fight Sora in a bit, and then Dustin is also there. Jetlin currently in P8. Probably has to stop, I'm guessing. But that is a P8 right now. Which I think is still going, so fair play. Well done. Not the end of the race yet, but, you know, take a screenshot. So we're running ahead of Dustin. Very close together, those two. And now Dekra is in the pits. Now, Marcus is going to take the lead. And I don't think Marcus is going to be beatable. So we can almost pen down Marcus for P1, right? That's cancelled. That's fine. Randers and Domska are also going to go ahead, I think. No, they are not actually. Dekar's already out. Oh, and look at that. He's so much closer to Marcus than I thought he would be. He is so much closer than I thought he would be. This is a race for the win. Dekra has elevated himself from a fight with Randers to a fight with Marcus. And suddenly nothing is certain. If Decra can win this race, the top 3 are going to be so close together. Incredibly close together. And if this was the second to last race, it would mean that the next race will be whoever wins, wins. Right? The winner wins the championship. We do have 2 races after this though, so it's going to ruin it a little bit. As it stands right now, it's going to be very exciting. A little bit of difference would help a little bit, but Domska, I think his championship is slipping away. The opportunities, he's got a hovercraft now, he's trying everything. But yeah, his championship hopes, unfortunately. If he finishes 4th, I think that's gonna be it. 2 races to go. Gonna be tough. Not impossible, but tough. Decra very close to Marcus, and Marcus is gonna have to fight for the win here. Do keep in mind, Decra stopped later. His tires are gonna be better. Marcus will have good fuel. His tires will be okay. But Decra has them completely fresh. Marcus has been super quick though. Decra showing us why he was so dominant in the first few races of the season. Winning the first and the second race back to back in such a way that I personally thought it was just going to be a walkover for him. Now the next race was definitely a bit controversial. The 4th race, that was a 3rd place, and he just didn't feel on the pace. He felt like he should have had more, but just wasn't on the pace. Last race he wasn't there at all, losing so many points in the championship. Today he has a chance to fight back and retake almost what was his. In the slipstream before Parabolica, a couple more laps to go. Brandes is still in the background, and that is important. Those are also in the background, that's also important. Keep those in mind. Do not ignore them. I said earlier, penning Marcus for the win, but I was assuming he was alone, right? Now anybody can catch up, because these 2 are going to fight, and it's starting now. Decra is going to make a move before the chicanes. It's not going to be much of a fight, of course, because he's just faster on the straight line. He's faster on the straight line, and Marcus is going to have to concede that position. Marcus does have a good run into Curva Grande. He's gonna get closer. He's gonna have to stick with Decra, and the goal is just to be ahead by the start of this straight. That's all they need to do. That's all Marcus needs to do. Decra right now looks very fast. The tire is working well for him. The car is light. Oh, and he does make a mistake there on the grass. That's gonna cost you time, and Marcus is right there again. Marcus is right there, and he's gonna have a look. Is he? Oh, he's catching now. Slipstream working, but he's deciding not to. Releasing a bit and going for a better entry into the chicane. Leading into a very good exit. But Decra himself had a very strong exit as well. Marcus is catching. He is catching. Getting a little bit closer. Creeping forwards. He's not there yet. You do see, I think that's a McLaren giving Decra a little bit of slipstream. He accepts it, says thank you. Moves past. Marcus getting close on his start finish straight. He's not going to make a risky move into the chicane. This is not the kind of league where people send it. They do not lick stamp it, they didn't send anything. They deliver. Brand is still 2.5 seconds away. Domska is definitely losing time. I don't think Domska is going to be very happy there. Godspeed in P5 seems very secure. That's Sin and Sorrow. Well, there's another fight we can look at, essentially. If we get bored of this one, we can look at the other one. Also, Jetlin and Silver, they are actively fighting. There's actually a three-way fight. Joppo is right there. Getting overtaken twice, unfortunately. But it's good to see Jetlin have such a good race today. Joppo making his way past Silver as well, it seems. Marcus and Decra still exactly where I left them. Sorrow and Dustin. Oh, they are fighting. Sorrow's going to look for a move around the outside of Ascari. Yeah, and Dustin kind of lets it happen. P6 for Sorrow right now. Oh, and now this looks like a move in the making. Side by side, Marcus. Oh, he decides against it. He's deciding against it. I think I know what he's doing. He's testing, can I drag race Dikra on the start-finish straight. He is trying to figure out when do I need to make the move. I think he has just figured it out. I think he realizes drag racing is too risky. It's probably not going to work. He's going to need to be ahead of Dikra, and he's going to make the move next lap. No, the lap after. At the start of lap 30. He's definitely looking for weaknesses. Dikra is doing a very good job. He has made a couple of mistakes though. Here, for example, between the leftmost corners, he has put a wheel on the grass. Marcus decides not to take advantage most of the time. He's a very clever driver himself. The thing is though, if you leave it to the last lap, it's, you know, you've got to make the move in the last lap. There's no alternatives. You just need to do that. Side by side Parabolica, he doesn't make the move. He lets it be. Brandis is getting a little bit closer, but it's not nearly fast enough. Not nearly fast enough, I say. But that's not entirely relevant. Marcus is not going to accept this move, I think. Yeah, there he goes. He still sticks it behind. Lap 29. It is only at the end of lap 30 that it needs to be ahead. He knows that. He has so many opportunities to go and get ahead. He has so often rejected it because he wants to be in P2 right now. He wants to enjoy that slipstream, and he wants to make a move at the start of next lap and hold on for dear life. Not going to be an easy job, but that's going to be the best chance of winning. Unfortunately for him. Marcus very close. Oh, and now he's looking. Now he's really looking into Ascari. Oh, and he's been given that position. And now Dikra is like, now I've got you. Marcus might be ahead, but is he winning this race? That's the question you need to ask yourself. He is currently the leader of the race. But is he going to win this race? That's the only thing that matters. And Dikra says, you know what? I prefer P2 as well. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to try and overtake you here with the slipstream that is so strong in these cars. Dikra is fast in a straight line as we enter the last lap. Marcus is going to have to let this happen because there's nothing he can do to defend this. Dikra side by side and ahead for the first chicane, and now Marcus has his work cut out for him. His plan that I'm sure he had didn't quite work. Is gonna have to be elsewhere. It's gonna have to be elsewhere that he makes his overtake. Outside of Curva Grande, now I've not seen that before. It's not gonna happen today. They're gonna send it in this chicane, not with this configuration. No way. But Lesmos then, he has a bit of wheel spin there. Not gonna be optimal, but he is gonna get a little bit closer. Not the best line, but he's going to need a good run through here. And this is going to be his opportunity. It has to do something with Ascari. It's either before it or after it. He's getting closer. Dikra's defending the inside. Around the outside then, it's going to be Marcus. Marcus, is he going to win this race? Around the outside. They are side by side through Ascari. Dikra didn't want to concede it that easily, but he has to. As Marcus off the road on the gravel. No, scratch that. Dikra is in the lead. Dikra is back in the lead. Somebody has retired, unfortunately. I cannot tell you who. I think it's Yippo, unfortunately. That is very painful. But it's going to be Dikra side by side with Marcus. Marcus! No, Marcus wins! No, he doesn't! Wait, who wins? Dikra wins. And what is the gap? I don't know. A second? No! I got faked out. I thought Dikra had it. But he didn't. But then he did. Dikra wins. Dikra with a strategical masterclass at the last lap. It's what I said, except he flipped it. What a stunning job from him. Dikra wins this race. I really want to check. Does he have the fastest lap as well? Oh, I think he does, though. Oh, he does, though. I think he does. Yeah, he does. What an excellent job. I do need to... Yeah, it is actually Dikra on top. That is crazy. Well done from Dikra. Let's see. We have Marcus in P2, of course. Hard fought. but P2 it is, unfortunately for him. Randa's P3. Domska P4 is going to be disappointed. I think he's going to kick himself. I don't know. Hopefully... see car flying. No, I'm not sure about that. Hopefully we'll get to speak him. I'm curious to see what he thinks of that finishing position. I'm sure he's going to be super disappointed. Might have him a little bit angry. We'll see. Geralt, P5. You can see how happy he is with that. Was doing burnouts. Dustin and Sorrow, P6, P7. Good job. And Gomestos actually has a time penalty that drops him back to P11 behind Cavallor. Time penalty like that is often for track limits. So, is that behind Cavallor? No, I've not been it. One of me behind that, I believe. Michael, ditto. And the rest, well, quickly gonna submit. Let the machine churn, you know, let him work. No, it's Marcus! Hey? By 4 thousandths! Marcus wins the race? Hang on. Has Marcus won this race? I think Marcus has won this race. I'm going to accept what was on that screen. Marcus has won this race. Yeah, I think that's the case, right? So I'm going to make the machine churn again. And I've done that. We're going to move ourselves into quieter pastures. Off the track into this wall here. To figure out exactly what happened to the championship. Oh, I made a mistake. I did not save the replay. We'll sort that out. Okay. All right. So, what happened? Well, race results first. Marcus wins that race. Second place, we have Dikra. Look at the little purple timing. He has the fastest lap. Well, new addition to the graphics. Beautiful. If I do say so myself. Randa's in P3. Then we have Domska, who will be disappointed, I think, with a P4. It's not what he wanted. The championship is going to look very difficult for him right now. Geraltson in P5, very strong. They have Dustin, Sorrow. I think Sorrow will be... I don't know what Sorrow will be. He could be very happy or very disappointed. Both are very possible. Maybe we'll talk to him. They have Silver, Jetlin, Cavallor, Gomestos, and Nota Bene. We're here. Yeah, one of me does not get any points. Michael, ditto, also do not get any points. Joppo, unfortunately, retired. And Ralladai, also no points for him. Then, the driver start. I'm not ready. Are you ready? I'm not ready. Let's have a look. Marcus VR is your new championship leader, followed by Randers, followed by Dikra. And those gaps, look at that. Between Marcus and Dikra, 8 points. Domska has fallen back a little bit further. I need to make this leaderboard. Actually, I have it right here. He has 94 points. That is gonna be tough. That is 19 points towards Marcus. Is going to be tough. So, not entirely out of it, but it's a very long shot. Geraldsmith on 50 points. You can see that gap is massive to the leaders. But P5 right now. Dustin puts himself back into P6 after a bit of a shocking race for Michael, unfortunately. I think some bad luck in the start ruined his entire race. Then we have Sorrow in P8. Ahead of Gomestos. Then we have Silver, Cavallor, Nota Bene on 11 points. Then we have JJ, who wasn't here today, but still 13th. Jetlin got a good number of points. Kind of like P9 for Jetlin is very strong. So very, very good job. Then we've got Unufmi, who unfortunately didn't score anything today. We have Daniel, Apex, couldn't join today, unfortunately. Ralladai did join today, didn't finish. And then we have Das, who has been watching today. Ditto still on 0, still think it's possible. Going to happen, trust me. And the rest on 0 points as well. Yeah, that's how long the list is now. We need a third page. Finally, the team standings. The Red Bull Sauber 4 team of Marcus VR and Michael is in the lead currently. They've got a little bit of a lead to the Williams team, then the Ferrari team, then the 40 team. But those are so close together. Anything can happen there as well. They've got the Benetton team, both drivers quite strong, but because of how strong the top 4 drivers are, unfortunately, that is a bit of a gap. They've got a Tyrrell, McLaren, Minardi teams, followed by Jordan, Ligier, and then Lotus in P11. Okay, now it's going to be a little bit of a break. We're going to say 15 minutes, maybe. No, make it 10. Make it 10. I'm going to set a timer for the stream. I'm going to say, where are we? Yeah, okay, that should, yep, that's good. We'll add a minute, hang on. Add a minute just to let my throat rest a little bit. There we go. Gonna run some music. We're gonna do some interviews. I'll be back in a bit. All right, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for bearing with me for the break, but we have a very good list of drivers. Of course, start from the top. I have confirmed your winner of today's race would be Marcus on a drag race to the start finish line. You have won this race, Marcus. How do you feel?
Hello, Findict. I feel quite good because, yeah, I won. And it was quite a nail biter to the end. Yeah, but let's start at the beginning. We practiced again a lot, Michael and I didn't feel that comfortable on the track, but I knew that it was going to be a strategy race and, of course, a slipstream race. So my strategy, I couldn't make the one-stop work. That's why I decided to go for a two-stop on the softs, but I put more fuel into the first stop because in the start of the race, because you can stay behind on the slipstream and it doesn't matter how much fuel you have. So I only fueled as much with how long it lasts to change tires on the first stop. So there I came out ahead of the pack. And then unfortunately, Domschka had an issue with a back marker, which cost his race. He was on a one stop. So it would have been quite close with him, I guess, but we will never know, unfortunately. And yeah, then you hopefully saw it. The last few laps I was testing with Dikra, where it's possible to overtake and where not. And we both didn't want to go as the first guy in the last lap. I had a good rundown into Ascari. I made the overtake, but I had too much wheel spin and slid out at the end of the corner. And then I thought, okay, this is it. I ruined my race there. But I focused everything into the last corner. I hit it perfectly, really on the limit, and I had struggled with this particular corner all weekend. And that's very nice that I finally made it in the last attempt. And yeah, it was by me on the timing screen, I was behind 1,000th of a second. And only a few minutes later, I was told that I actually was ahead. So this was quite interesting. And yeah, any questions?
Well, I do want to note that funny that was by a tenth on your screen. On my screen, it said, "Oh, you're a second behind Decro," which anyway was wrong. So I had to wait until the result screen. But yeah, and the end was like what 4,000ths of a second.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly on the line. If it had been half a meter earlier, it would have not been yours. But yeah, that's how it is sometimes. Um, yeah, very interesting. Thank you so much for that rundown of your race. I do want to also congratulate you with something else, of course. After that, you are now the leader of the championship. Got 113 points against Randers' 109, against Dekras 105. 4 points between each of you there. Um, 2 races to go. You're leader of the championship. Are you going to win it?
We will see. I'm more interested in the team championship, and unfortunately, my teammate had a accident at the start, which, as far as I know, he couldn't do anything about it. So I'm not happy about that, but this is how it goes sometimes in racing. I at least took home the most points I could in the race. I was trying, thinking if I should have let go of Dikwa for one lap, that I can close in again and get the extra point for the fastest lap, but ultimately decided against it. And yeah, the next 2 races, the next track, Astroville, I think, I don't really know this track, so no clue if I'm how good I will be there. And Suzuka, I have good memory, so it will definitely be a nice season finale. Everyone in the top 4, I think, is still able to win this one. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely able. For Domska, it's going to be a little harder. He is currently 19 points behind, so it's going to be a bit of it's going to need a little bit of luck, unfortunately. But yeah, it's still absolutely possible. Crazier things have happened. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
we will see. I'm
Yeah,
excited for it.
same thing, and I'm sure everybody viewing this season will be just as excited because this season has been crazy so far, and there's every opportunity for it to get even crazier. All right, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you. See you next time.
I unfortunately cut him off a little bit there, but we're going to quickly move on to uh, our reigning champion, who had a very strong race today, but it was not enough by the tiniest of margins. Hello, Dikra. How do you feel?
Yeah, a bit subdued, as I think you can imagine after that finish, because it was it's just so frustrating, and I kind of wish I could travel back in time and redo that parabolica turn. I mean, the entire race, to be honest, I don't like this type of tracks. I didn't like Hockenheim, and I don't like Monza. I think you see it in the qualifying results, especially that this kind of track does not suit me at all. And in the race, it was, of course, a slipstream battle, and I think my strategy was quite good to just go for a very high fuel at the start and then fuel 2 times with pretty low fuel. And that was also what got me into the fight for the lead, because I was able to overcut Marcus and gain back the 3 seconds that Steven and I had partly lost during the first pit stops and partly given up due to just infighting, which in hindsight I think we shouldn't have done. But yeah, I came out directly behind Marcus. I had the fresher tires, so I was confident I could go for the win. And approaching the last lap, I kind of had a feeling that this was going to be tough to win, because it was just, yeah, it was just luck based, and I felt like he had a little bit more straight line speed than me. So yeah, I was a bit apprehensive going into that battle. But then in Ascari, out of Ascari, first of all he overtook me, but I was actually happy to see that, because I thought I can just get him back when I had a good exit. But he had a exit that was so poor that I just got in the lead, and after that, and that was something that is really unforgivable and that I will never do again. But after that, I kind of already relaxed, because I thought, okay, he's in the gravel, no chance he's getting me again. But I underestimated his straight line speed, and I underestimated the slipstream. And I drove Parabolica like someone who had already won the race and who just wanted to make sure that he could, yeah, that he could stay on the track there. But I shouldn't have done that. I needed 4 thousandths of a second more through that corner. And yeah, the way I drove through there, I didn't get them. So he got very close, and when I saw him approaching, I knew his straight line speed from the laps before. I already knew this was going to be tough, and then the result screen, of course, showed that I had won, but I scarcely believed it. So I couldn't really believe it, because on my screen it looked like I didn't win. And that was also confirmed when we got to the server. So big bummer for sure. Now, in order to have a shot at winning the championship, I just need to win the last 2 races, which is gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be super tough. It's super competitive at the moment in this league. So I'm yeah, partly happy, because I think this is one of the tracks where I shouldn't have been where I was. I shouldn't have been fighting for any win, just judging on pace, especially on peak performance. So I'm happy that I at least got second. But of course, it's a little to live. It's not enough to die. So I just hope I can be a bit more emphatic in the next 2 races, especially concerning qualifying and outright peak pace. But I'm hopeful I can, because the next 2 tracks should be more toward should suit me more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I felt the same honestly at the start, at the end, sorry, where you had relaxed, and I think I relaxed at almost the exactly same time. Exactly the same time. I thought he's got it. Mark's made a big mistake. It's over. Yeah, as you said, the slipstream so strong on Monza and his straight line speed, very very strong as well. All right, and as you said, the championship, you're currently 8 points behind. To force it, you need 2 wins, but with how close things are, maybe 1 win is enough to make everything tied up again. Yeah, every hope that you're still gonna win this championship.
I mean, there's always hope. I think, as I said, the next 2 tracks should suit me more. But what I saw of Marcus in Spa-Francorchamps, it should also suit him much more than Monza, and he was very, very strong in Monza as well. So I think I have no hopes of finishing qualifying in front of Marcus. So it's just gonna have to be the races, and whether that works out is down to luck, down to being in the right place at the right time. But it's definitely not gonna be down to any slipstream shenanigans. So I'm very happy that that is now done and dusted with for this season. And we are just gonna have 2 very interesting, very open races for the final 2 ones. And I hope I will be able to make both of them. That depends on whether we keep the next race on Easter Sunday. If we don't, then I won't be able to be there. And that's gonna be championship over, of course, for me.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. So hopefully, I don't know if it takes moving mountains, but maybe we can. I hope a solution can be found. Everybody can be there. Of course, I do have to note, we would have moved it exactly a week, but then I can't be there, and apparently that's not acceptable. And I think it's the same way. It should not be acceptable that you, Domska, Randers, or Marcus isn't able to make one of the races because we move it. So hopefully that is solved. Yeah, we won't have to miss you for any of the future races. All right. Thank you so much for your interview, and wish you the best of luck preparing for the next race.
Thank you, Finnick.
All right. That is our second place finisher, of course. Let me quickly grab my graphics. The third place finisher we will ask up now is, of course, the former championship leader now, Randers. Hello.
Hi, Finnick.
You are currently second place in the championship. You got third place this race. Are you happy or not?
Not really happy, honestly. Somehow I cannot win from pole position. I have I think 6 or 7 pole positions now, and I only won once from pole, so a bit frustrating. I think today I had the chance to win, but I made a very decisive mistake. So, yeah, a bit of mixed feelings about this race currently.
Yeah, talk us through your race. We saw in the first stint you were in on the lead fighting Domska, I believe, and something happened, but both of you went off around the same time. Was there any contact between you two, or was it just coincidental?
No, there was no contact. I had a good start, and I had a bit of a gap, and I couldn't get him out of the slipstream. But then the people behind me started to battle a bit, I think, and I suddenly had like 9/10 or nearly a second of a gap. And I don't know what went through me in that moment, but I felt like, okay, maybe I can now pull away and get him out of the slipstream and create a gap to him. But at that moment, I messed up the Ascari chicane, and I think he was surprised that I did and messed up as well. So it was an individual driving mistake from both of us. And then I was in P8 or P7 or something afterwards, or even P9, I think.
I think it was P9, yeah.
And from then it was a tough race.
Well, in the end, you made it back much smoother and faster than I think I anticipated. So well done there. And in the end, yeah, as I said, P3, still a podium. You maintain, you get second place in the championship, only 4 points behind Marcus. Still every opportunity to take that back, don't you think?
Yeah, as I said last race, everything's possible. Still, in terms of race pace, it always feels like the other guys have a bit of the upper hand. But 2 races left, 5 points, and everything can happen. So yeah, still thinking from race to race, and maybe something good can happen in the end.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Hopefully, you'll be there in the next 2 races. Are you looking forward to the next 2 races?
I'm always looking forward to the races. I think we have an amazing league, fair and close racing. I think the closest finish ever in league racing. Maybe, I don't know. Today, every race is really great. The competition is amazing, and yeah, the best sim racing streams on top of that. So every race I'm looking forward to.
I don't know about the streams, but the racing absolutely is some of the best I've seen in sim racing for sure. All thanks to you and all the other guys, of course. A great battle today. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you for the next few races then. And yeah, good luck preparing.
Thank you. Bye.
And finally, for the top 4, we've got more drivers after that. But for the top 4, we do have Domska also making it for the interviews. Hello.
Hi, Findict.
Yeah, just talk us through it. I kind of think I know how you feel, but I'll let you tell me.
Yeah, it was a very frustrating race because I was on a one-stop strategy, and I do think I could have been in the fight for the win today if there wasn't this little hiccup with the back marker. And yeah, in the first stint, I was trying to stay in the slipstream, drive my race because I knew my time would come later, and if I stay in a slipstream, I would have very good cards for this race. And to be honest, around lap 11 or 12, I was very sure that that I'm gonna win this one because I was in the slipstream and I knew that I had the pace to not to lose too much when the others are in the pit and when I'm alone on track. And I do think if I had not this little incident, I think I would have come out with like 5 seconds in front of Marcus when he had his second pit stop. I think that would have been the outcome. But obviously, I had this little incident, and I think this was just a misunderstanding. He let Dika through on the left side of the track. I thought he would stay on the left side, but then he came a little bit on the right side, and I thought, okay, he will go into the slipstream, and I was moving to the left side of the track because I wanted to avoid him. But then he again steered into the left side of the track, and then we collided. And then I had damage on the front wing and on the suspension. That cost me around 7/10 on one lap, I think. And after that, my race was done. I knew that the fight for the win was impossible now. I thought maybe I can get a podium, but obviously Randers got past me and I couldn't even stay in a slipstream because my car was in such a miserable state. And yeah, it's a little bit, it's a very frustrating season because in every race this year, something happens. Sometimes because it was my fault, or sometimes because it is bad luck, or some other things. And yeah, I would be very happy if in the last 2 races I could have at least one race where I have a clean race where nothing unusual happens to me.
Yeah, it would be good. Very unfortunate, I think, today as well. Looked very strong, and we did see the incident with the back marker. That was very unfortunate. Yeah, hopefully better luck next time. And speaking of next time, let's look forwards a little bit. Still got Portugal, Estoril, and of course Japan, Suzuka to go. Are they good tracks for you? Looking forward to them?
I'm very neutral to them because I think I can be fast on them, but it is not like Hockenheim or also Monza, where I do think that I could have the upper hand pace-wise. In Estoril, there's still something that from the 95 season that I want to make right, because obviously I had the fight with Stahu in this one, and I lost a podium there, or even a win, maybe. I want to put that right and have a good race there. But as the season showed, it is always something in the way of a good race for me. So let's see what is what's next time.
Yeah, hopefully, good race for you next time, and yeah, maybe put yourself back in winning ways would be very good to see. Yeah, thank you very much. Anything more to add?
I'm looking forward to the next season, to be honest, because this season is very cursed.
It is a little bit, unfortunately for you, but yeah, still, it's not fully impossible. And it's a bit of a long shot. You need a little bit of luck, but yeah, fight for it and see what comes out.
Yeah, thank you for streaming as always. I think it was a wild stream because the photo finish was something very cool.
Yeah, I was not expecting it. Kind of caught me off guard, but yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. We also had this one moment where we were like 4 wide or something in the beginning. That was also very cool. I hope you caught that one.
Oh yeah, that was pretty crazy as well. Yeah, there was very wise driving from everyone. It could have been a massive crash, but very good drive for everyone, and nothing happened. So
Yes.
yeah. All right, thank you very much. One of the best drivers of the best league, Domska. All right, we still have a couple of drivers to go. I don't see Gerald, and that means I'm going to move on to his teammate, who is Dustin. Hello, Dustin.
Hello, hello.
I feel like you're a bit more happy with this race than all of the previous ones. Am I correct?
Definitely more so than last week's race, that's for sure. So the past 7 days have been a really roller coaster for me. It's been a really challenging week. It started with the retirement last week because of a 5-year sorrow, because I crashed myself and then I had damage and got a drive-through penalty, couldn't repair it, and then I just retired because I was so angry with myself also there. And then this week a lot has also happened for me in my private life. All the way up to that, yesterday I had to give first aid to other karting colleagues. So yeah, it's been a really challenging week for myself. So I knew this race today will be also challenging for me because I'm not really fit to drive it really. Um, Mentally and also physically. But I think in the end, it turned out pretty well for that. So I had like 20 laps of practice or so. In total, 10 laps of that for qualification, 10 laps for a race. And that was only just before the race on the same server. So I basically had no practice at all. I was begging others for the setup again, which I got from Michael, which was a pretty good one. I changed here and there a couple of things, but in the end, it was a really good one. I had a great start. I almost overtook my teammate, but when I saw, okay, he's also next to someone else into turn one, I'm backing off, and yeah, that went well, thankfully. And I was driving on full tank. I wasn't really sure if I would do a one-stopper until then. But then I noticed that everyone else isn't really faster than me because they are fighting each other. I can still be there. So up until the point where I thought, okay, this is my chance. I can actually go on the podium today. Suddenly I saw a red car flying across, and next thing I saw, I was in the gravel trap. So that's 10 seconds lost. Unfortunately, Kefalor has outbraked himself and crashed into Yupo, the new driver, and also into me, unfortunately. All fine from my side. He already apologized, so that's okay. I didn't really expect anything, anyways, in the race. So yeah, 10 seconds lost. Then I lost like 5 more seconds in the race because of yeah, outbreaking myself, having some lockups. But I think pace-wise, I was kind of there. I still have my legs, unfortunately. I didn't solve this. But I had fantastic 5 last laps with Sorrow. I'm not sure if you saw that, but that was just pure racing.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, there was also great racing at the front, so didn't quite see it. But I'm glad to hear that you had great racing, despite what you talked about, what happened in live beyond sim racing. So sorry to hear all of that, and hopefully today's race give a little bit of distraction from everything that happened. So great racing, regardless.
Yeah, actually, it helped me, definitely, especially with Fight with Sorrow, because for the viewers, we were basically side by side for the last 5 laps, actually. And in the last laps, we both had our elbows a bit out. He more basically, we both drove into each other a bit. I waited for him. That cost like 5 or 7 seconds again. And then we were side by side in the last corner with Parabolica, but he chose to not stay on the track. Yeah. I had way less downforce than him, so I easily overtook him all the time. So I had to work less than he did to overtake me, but was really good fun. Yeah, but I think all in all, without all of that, without the crash by Kafalo, I could have been fighting in the end for P4 with Domschka. I'm pretty sure about that. I don't think I would be fighting for P3 um, pace-wise, but P4 was definitely in the cards today.
All right, that's encouraging at least, but unfortunately it didn't pan out. Still, very good job, P6. Great fighting with Sorrow, and definitely great to have a little bit of distraction, and that it helped is very good to hear. All right, thank you so much, Dustin.
Yeah, no worries. One more thing. Can I say something about the last race of the season?
Sure.
This is actually on the same date we have our 5th anniversary. So for me personally, as an organizer, it's really great to see that we are likely to see 3 or 4 drivers fighting for the championship until the last race, which is really the anniversary of us. So yeah, I hope that we will have a full grid on that race. That we have a nice championship battle there, and a lot of viewers for you as well. And of course, me winning a race.
Yeah, let's hope everything happens. Let's hope everyone wins, of course, because everybody makes this possible. Yeah, and but
Yes.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Last race, of course, it's very good that it's nice on the 5th anniversary, and yeah, this season I think is incredible. It's been so rewarding to cast. It's been so much fun, I think, for the drivers as well, and it looks like it's going down to the wire. So yeah, exciting.
Yes,
Thank you very
very
much.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, no worries.
and we'll quickly move on to the last driver in my queue, who I've been dying to speak to today. I'm very curious to hear how Sorrow has been feeling. Hello.
Hello, I haven't been here in a while.
You haven't been here in a while, but you're here now, and goodness, great job today. I see you fighting for the lead at some point. I think after the pit stoppers didn't quite work out, but yeah, talk us through it.
Yeah, so that was quite a weird race. I didn't expect it to happen like that. Just like at Spa, I noticed in practice that my pace was just terrible. I was like 1 second of the pace from the leaders, from the championship contenders. And yeah, so just like at Spa, I decided to do something unusual. 1 week ago, I went for very low wings. This week, I did the opposite. I found that it really helped me with driving the car. I was way more consistent, and yeah, it was more pleasant to drive. So I decided to risk it a bit and go for higher wings. And in qualifying, I just made it all about staying in the slipstream of other people. On my first attempt, I managed to get a really good tow from Marcus, and then on the last lap, I got a even better tow from Dustin. Actually, I had to lift off the throttle to avoid overtaking him into
This was shown on
Parabolica.
stream. We saw this.
Yeah, yeah. I lost like 2 tenths because of that. So maybe there could have been a P3, but I mean, it was still way better than what I could have achieved without slipstream. And yeah, in the race, my pace didn't really matter because the slipstream is so strong around here that I was able to stay in the lead group. And yeah, it was very fun to race with guys up front, something that I really haven't done in this league since my debut race in Catalonia. But as the race unfolded, as we made the pit stops, unfortunately, because Marcus had more fuel at the start than me, he had a shorter first pit stop, so he got out of my slipstream, and yeah, because of that, when I went back to my pure pace, I got really overcutted and lost quite a bit of time. During the second stint, I was stuck with Geralt, and because of my high wings, I just couldn't get a run on him, so we couldn't really like work with each other, try to slipstream past each other to catch the cars up front. And then I had the same problem when I got stuck behind Dustin on the final stint, but it made for a really enjoyable fight in the end.
Yeah, that's good to hear. But yeah, it's also encouraging, you know, the even if it's very much slipstream based and with high downforce, if the slipstream is so strong and you are able to keep up in the straights despite the downforce, you do have a bit of an advantage in the corners. So made good use of that. Yeah, and from what I saw after qualifying, I looked. I think your sector 1 and sector 2 times were so strong that if you had matched sector 3 with some of the leaders, you would have straight up had pole position.
Yeah, I think if Dustin was just a bit faster on his final lap and I didn't have to lift off, then yeah, I think maybe there was a chance for pole, because in sector 1 I obviously had a great slipstream. In sector 2 I had more pace than others because of my high wings. I was able to stay on full throttle through Lesmo 2, which was also very helpful while fighting in the race. And yeah, if only Dustin was just a bit faster, then maybe I could have started on pole, but it wouldn't have really mattered anyway, considering how the race went.
Yeah, I think we should blame Dustin. No, that's yeah, it's just how things go. Of course, slipstream is so strong; it's hard to calculate exactly how far behind you have to be by someone, and then you have to hope that they have the best lap that they could possibly have. But that's yeah, is what it is in qualifying. But still, very good job qualifying where you did in P4 if I recall correctly, and very nice job during the race. Great racing. I'd say decent finishing position. I'm not sure how you feel if that's enough for you, but
Well, I think I could have improved if I went for a one stop. I was thinking about it, but I was afraid that with extra fuel and also being off the pace, I would just not be able to keep up with others, even in the slipstream. But in hindsight, knowing that Domshka was also going for a one stop, I think we really could have worked together, and maybe in that case I would have gotten a P5. But I'm still quite happy with the result. I mean, I probably would have gotten it anyway because there was a huge gap to the other cars. So I'm basically in this season I'm basically like the worst of the front runners. But yeah, considering that due to all the bad luck and BS happening in previous races, I really lost interest in this league. So I'm not practicing that much. Yeah, I'm not right now. I'm not focusing on results at all. I'm like more focusing on just having pure fun, trying to enjoy this league actually for once. And yeah, because of doing some wacky stuff, I actually had some pretty good fun at Spa and Monza, so I'm pretty happy.
yeah, well, I think that's definitely worth noting. Yeah, and it's always good to just race for the fun of it. I think you had a lot of fun. I think I had fun watching you fight. So big success then. Are you gonna be there in the next few races? Are you excited for them?
Not really, to be honest. I just wanted this season to be over finally, and yeah, unfortunately, Astoria and Suzuka are more conventional tracks, I must admit. So it will be difficult to do something weird like at Spa and Monza. I'm a bit worried about my pace, but I don't know. I will try to do my best, and yeah, at least just like in those last 2 races, have a bit of fun.
All right, very good to hear. Yeah, and good luck preparing to have a little bit of fun next races. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we will close off this stream. Important note for those watching. Get that away. So next race, it's not certain when it will be driven. It would be next week, which will be Easter. There's some people have some things to do on Easter, so we're kind of looking at where to move it. It will be moved 1 week later. That's when I'm unavailable, so we're not doing that either. Yeah, so we still have to figure it out. Hopefully, all the top 4 drivers can make both last 2 races. I think we should fight for that. As much as they want the commentator there, I also want the drivers there. So hopefully we can make that happen. Yeah, and hopefully I will have all you, my viewers, here. Thank you so much for watching. If you have been, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't been. Don't forget to follow if you want notifications for the future races. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube if you enjoyed this and want to see more. Thank you so much, and have a good night.